I'm going to demonstrate how to do a Navajo Ply, or at least how I do the Navajo Ply. There are a lot of really great videos out there on YouTube and out on the internet that show you how to do Navajo Ply, but I've had lots and lots of requests for me to do a tutorial, so I'm just going to go ahead and do one. I know that some people find that when they learn something one way, it just doesn't click, and then they learn it a different way and all of a sudden it clicks. So hopefully with all the great tutorials out there, in addition to mine, you will learn how to do Navajo Ply and find it very easy. I always have difficulty getting it started. I seem to, every time I sit down to do Navajo Ply, I think, how am I going to get this loop started? So the first step, I have my single here. I have my Lazy Kate down here on the floor with my bobbins, and I have my single. Now to start it, you need to make a loop, and I'm just going to take my single and make a slip knot, just like you would normally do if you were creating your first loop for your cast on, for your knitting. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take the short end of this slip knot, where the tail end, and we're going to set it up in the leader so that it will catch within the leader as soon as I start going. And then all you're going to do is create chains by pulling the single from your bobbin through this loop each time. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get my wheel started here. Let that single catch, and at the same time I'm just going to pull open this loop. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it. It's a pretty small single, but I'm just going to pull open the loop and then pull out a length here. Okay, and let me go ahead again and get this started. So I pulled out a length, and I'm going to keep this going. Hopefully my single will stay in there. And at the same time, I'm going to continue and pull out more of a very long loop. And then I'm just going to feed it in, and as my hands get closer together, I'm going to pull out another long loop. And then slowly feed it in. And I'm kind of tensioning the single that's coming from the bobbin with my ring finger as I'm feeding it back. And these loops can be as short as you like. I could just pull out a short little loop here like this and then feed it in. Or you can pull out a long loop as far back as you'd like. Sometimes when I'm working on a Navajo Ply, I like really long loops, because the longer the loop, the less joins you will have in your single. A lot of times I can't even find my joins when I try and look for them, and that's kind of the whole point. But again, you can just do a little loop if it works better for you, and just pull it back a little bit. And I just feed it in, and as my hands get closer together, I pull out a new loop. And again, you'll see my ring finger is kind of tensioning that single that's coming from the bobbin. And I do all my drafting with my right hand, which is why I am pulling my loops out with my left hand and kind of feeding it in to the bobbin with my right hand. That is what is most comfortable to me. Now, I can put the Lazy Kate on my right side and pull from that side, but it is more comfortable for me to pull from my left side. You might find that you prefer to pull from your right side. Until you get really comfortable doing something, I highly recommend trying different methods. try pulling with your keep creating your chains with your left hand, and try creating chains with your right hand and doing the different steps or the different parts of the technique with each hand. Like I said, I have Navajo plied a few times before, so this is what I find is most comfortable, to just pull the chain out with my left hand and feed the yarn into the bobbin with my right hand. And all I'm doing when I do that, let me see if I can kind of show you what I'm doing. I'll stop the wheel here. As my hands get closer together, you see I've got these two fingers I'm pulling, and I'm grabbing that single with my left hand, and I'm pulling out a long loop. And I'm pulling it out before the twist gets to where, here's where the loop ends right here. And I'm pulling out the loop as far as I want it before the twist gets to that spot, because once the twist gets to that spot, I'm not going to be able to pull the single through anymore. And again, I'm just feeding it in with my right hand and then grabbing a new loop. And you might find if you do really long loops that your arm or shoulder gets a little sore by doing that. When that happens, I just take a break from plying at that moment. It takes a while to get to that point. But Navajo plying is kind of you really have to practice it. It's not, I don't think that it's something that anyone will sit down to and get the first time. The first couple times that I did it, I would sit down, I would watch a video right before I sat down, just to refresh my memory. I would kind of watch the video as I was doing it, and then I would proceed, and then hopefully it would just kind of click into place. And I'm getting ready to need to attach my new single, because I have several bobbins here, because some of it was left over, and some of it was a regular single. So I'm going to show you how to add in, say for instance, if you should break your single. So here we are. We're at the end here. So now I have, this is the single that was coming from the bobbin, and I have my loop. Now I'm just going to grab the next bobbin, the single, and I'm just going to lay it down next to this other single that I have here, and just make sure that it's inside the loop, it's not too far up, so that when my twist gets down in there, I'll have two singles that are coming through, which is fine. It'll be a little thicker at that one spot, but seriously, it's not going to show. You're not going to really see that. I just need to make sure that new single is going to lay flat within my plies. Let the twist take it up, and then I can move forward. And you can always trim off a little bit of that end later when you're actually knitting with it. If it's a little bit too fuzzy, you can trim off that. And now I have my new single attached, and I'm just keep moving forward. And really, that's all there is to Navajo plying. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you will come back for some of my future tutorials. If you have any questions on this technique or any other technique that I have done a tutorial on, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at knittingblooms@gmail.com. You can contact me on the blog at knittingblooms.com. You can contact me on Ravelry as Bloomingknitter. I am also on Instagram, Plurk, Facebook. Facebook is Knitting Blooms. Twitter, all of those social medias as well. And again, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope you will enjoy Navajo plying in the future. It is a great technique to learn. This I am just doing a solid here, but the Navajo ply is perfect for keeping your colors together in, say, a gradient. And even I like to Navajo ply with just a fiber that I have kind of fractally broken apart. So thanks for watching. Bye.